Okay, hey y'all. I am going to do a pretty long video on just how I do my nails from beginning to end, and then how I use all of my nail strips to do my pedicure as well. I have Chelsea later. It's new from the fall collection, and I actually have two. So if you love this video, you can claim the other one. I'm gonna go back in the description part of this video and write in like times of certain things, so you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to. You can just skip to the parts that you're interested in. So I just gave my daughter a bath, and I just kind of like soaked my toes in during her bath. So I took the nail polish off my toenails, soaked my toes, took the nail polish off my fingernails. I'm gonna cut them really short and kind of prep them for my manicure. I usually use a nail polish remover called Mineral Fusion. I get it off Amazon. It's not a Color Street product, but it works really well. And it's non-acetone, so it's not as harsh on your nails. I don't recommend using acetone just all the time because it's not good for your nails, but it does get the job done. So like when I have a bunch of glitter nail polish on, I will take that off sometimes. And it just happened to be in my bathroom, and I'm kind of in a hectic time of life, so I just grabbed it today and took my fingernail polish and my toenail polish off with regular acetone nail polish remover. So that takes it off really, really quickly. I also usually keep my nails pretty short. They're like extra long for me right now. So I just cut them down to the quick, basically. And I did the same thing with my toes, although it's hard to video and not very interesting, so I did that before I hopped on the video. Okay, sometimes I will use like an orange stick to push my cuticles back. I also just kind of do it as a nervous habit. I just have gotten in the habit of doing that. And then sometimes I use a cuticle clipper to clip off any cuticle that I have kind of extra hanging on the edge. Now I have read, first of all, I did not like go to cosmetology school, so I'm also not a nail scientist. But I have read that if you don't keep your instruments clean, and if you happen to like nick your cuticle at all, it can cause infection if you don't do it right, or if you accidentally get yourself. So it's up to you whether or not you feel comfortable doing this. I prefer it because I feel like it makes just a really clean like line of demarcation between my nail and my skin. I've also done it long enough that I just kind of, you know, do it. But if you don't want to, or if you don't have a cuticle clipper, then you can definitely push your cuticles back and then just start there. You do want to have your cuticles pushed away from the nail so that the strip doesn't land on the nail, because cuticle is still skin, and when the nail polish strip dries, it will lift a little bit if it's left on your cuticle or on your skin, just because your skin is kind of more squishy, is not the scientific term to use, but you know, it's not as firm of a surface as nail. So the main takeaway from this long monologue about cuticles is to have them pushed back, trim them if you want, and then also just make sure that they're moisturized. Like I have a cuticle oil that I use a lot. In fact, there's one of them right now. It's like on a little pin. It's really convenient. If you host a party with me this month, I'll send you one. But even just like any kind of oil or lotion will keep your nails, your cuticles supple, I guess, and helps them push back. Okay, so this is a buffer block. My family just got home with dinner. This is a buffer block. I'm just buffing it really, really quickly. You don't have to do this every single time you do your nails. In fact, I usually don't, but it's been a while, so I am. This is helpful if you have really ridged nails, because if you put something like a solid on, or even if they're really ridgy, any nail strip, on top of your So if you have really ridgy nails, sometimes it can show through your nail polish. I happen to have kind of thin nails right now, I think just from hormones and nursing and all that stuff. So I try not to buff them all the time because I don't want them any thinner than they already are. And if you see that you have really thin nails and you'd like them to be thicker, or if you have really ridgy nails and you'd like to kind of even out those ridges, you can always buff them if they're really ridgy. Or because mine are thinner, I use OPI nail strengthener. It's just like a painted on regular polish kind of type thing, and let it dry, and it thickens up your nails, makes them really shiny, and kind of smooths the surface. So that is a good strategy. Okay, so here's what I'm working with. They're cut, cuticles are trimmed, they've been buffed. I'm gonna hit them really quick with one of these crystal nail files. And then I'm gonna take a break and eat my dinner. And I will make another video about my actual application of Chelsea later. Any nail file will work. There's nothing magical really about them, but this is a glass nail file, so it kind of will help seal the layers of your nail together, which can be helpful to use on your tips if you tend to have nails at the edge that like split or bubble, which I do. And it's also just almost like a finer grit. Like if you think about sandpaper, you know, you can get the really rough sandpaper and then you can get the more fine sandpaper. This is like a finer sandpaper. So there you go. My nails are totally prepped and ready for Chelsea later. Okay, so my nails are prepped. I have them cut. I pushed my cuticles back, trimmed my cuticles, buffed my nails. If your nails are a little bit thin, you can always add something like OPI Nail Envy. The only drawback is you have to brush it on like regular polish and then let it dry before you put anything else on it. I'm going to apply Chelsea later. It's a new color from our fall collection. It's like my favorite shade. And this is my first time wearing it. Tomorrow we have open house for my preschool job. So everyone's gonna be like, I don't know what your face looks like, but your nails look great. Okay, this is what comes in a package. A nail file. An alcohol prep pad. And then the strips. So you can skip this alcohol prep pad. Steph, if you'd like, you're welcome to still like wash your hands really good with Dawn dish soap works good. Something without like oils in it. We'll push him down. The dogs are trying to eat my daughter's dinner. Okay. I'm also going to use them on my toenails. My toenails, I dipped them in the bathtub and then buffed them just a little bit and cut my nails. I don't really spend as much time on like the cuticles of my toenails or any of that, just because they're on my feet and they're harder to reach and people don't look at them as much. So I give them a little bit of love, but I don't worry about the cuticles on them. Can you take your foot off the table, please? Okay, so they're clean and they're dry. There is a little nick on the corner of all of these packages. Save your packaging because you're gonna use it to reseal all of your extras. Here's what comes in a pack. I know that this one is too small for me. This one fits my pinky just perfectly. You can see. If you're not totally sure, always go up a size instead of down a size, because you can always trim ones that are too big, but you can't make it bigger if it's too small. That makes sense. Okay. This one is always really satisfying because it fits my nail exactly right. So I don't have to do any trimming on this one. I'm going to use my thumbnail, push it down. Light just fell on me. Okay. So I have this part left. I'm gonna take the metal tab off the back of that, put it right up next to my cuticle without touching my cuticle. Press it down really good. Now there is extra on the sides, so let me show you what to do for that. I'm gonna use the same strategy on this one and just use my thumb to make a perforation. Take the extra off. And then here is the bonus genius tip that you guys all came here for. I have my camera won't stay. Okay, I have this little extra piece. I'm gonna put it on my nail, and I just pop it on there like super crazy looking. Look how much extra there is. And then I'm gonna use my thumbnail or my cuticle stick to take the extra off. Wow, go sit down at the table, please. Please sit down. Please sit down. It's hard for me to figure out a video angle to show what I'm doing, but I'm just using my cuticle stick to make perforations around the edge and then around the sides. Okay, I would love it if you wanted to go upstairs. That would be great for me. All right, so I'm using my cuticle stick to take any extra off the sides. Let me see if I can straight. And then that's what I'm left with. Perfect nail. So I used one nail strip. I did 2 nails and a little toenail. Now this one has extra on the side. I'm just gonna do the same thing that I did on the toes. All the extra stuff on the side. I'm going to use my Gracie, get down. Gracie! Gracie! Get down! Okay, so I have extra on this nail. I'm using the cuticle stick to pull the excess off. Just making a perforation along the edge. And then I'm gonna pull that off. You can totally use a thumbnail for this. You don't have to have any tools. But I keep my nails really short. I just cut off all my fingernails. Go talk to your dad, please. Okay. It's been kind of a long day. Go talk to your daddy.
Okay.
Okay. So there are my pinkies. This is the 3rd to smallest strip. There we go. These middle sets are really all about the same. Gracie, go! Gracie, go! I'm gonna take the clear cut off the top. Okay, so you take the clear coat off the top. Separate the silver tab from the white backing. And then it goes on like a sticker. If at this point I didn't have it exactly right, I could lift it off and reposition it. But it's good for me, so I'm gonna leave it. At this point, I can use my thumb to make a perforation. Another strategy is to use like scissors or cuticle clippers, whatever. And just kind of make a cut on either side, if you can see that. And then I just pull the excess off. So there's extra on the tip. I'm just gonna leave that alone, kind of fold it down. This is a glitter, so it's a little bit thicker. It might not completely fold over. And I'll come back when I'm done and I'll just file off the excess once it's had a chance to dry a little bit. And that is really going to help it file off really smooth and easy. That's super helpful if you notice when you're using the tear off strategy, if it's not getting an exactly clean cut edge like you'd like, or if it's taking a little bit too much off. Another strategy, which you can do with all nail strips, but since it's on this side, I've already gotten my second use out of it. If you do it the first time, then you only get one nail per nail strip, if that makes sense. But I'm going to fold the sides in so that I get a really good bond on the sides, and then push this part down. So then I just have a ton of extra. And I'm going to take my nail file. And it's basically doing the same thing that your thumbnail does when you make a perforation. It's just filing to make the perforation. So then that extra just peels off. Once again, you can use your thumbnail to take off any extras, or you can do like me, use a orange stick. I always start, if you notice, with my pinky, and the reason I start with my pinky is because all along the way I'm using my thumb as a tool, so it's just easier to wait to use it until the end. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna peel the plastic top off. Get a really, really good bond. And on this one, I'll just do my normal strategy. There we go. Now I'm still doing my toes at the same time. I don't have to do my toenails nearly as often as I do my fingernails, just because my toenails, I think, don't grow out as quickly. And I don't know about you, my pedicures have always lasted longer than my manicures. I don't know why, but they do. So I'm saving this little random middle piece, and I'm putting it on the toe. And it looks crazy. It's hard for me to show you my toe. And then I'm using one of these sticks to just take the excess off. This is my favorite way to use these nail strips. That's why I decided to do it with this color, because I love this color. But it really saves, like, there is no waste. So Chelsea Later, this is the name of this set, and it is a glitter, so it costs $12. So even if you just did 2 manicures, you would be getting a $6 manicure, you know. But with the strategy that I'm using, I'm going to use all the extras in between my nails, just this like little random middle part to do my toes, and then all I'm gonna need is an extra. So I'm gonna do a manicure plus 2 of these big strips and have a pedicure. So basically, I'm getting like a manicure and pedicure for like $6 or $7 if you count these extra strips. So it really does make your nail strips go a lot longer. Depending on your nail size, you might be able to use the smallest one. I cannot fit that on my nails, so what I normally do is save that for my daughters, because it fits a 5-year-old's nails just perfectly. But I'm gonna save that one in case I need to do a toenail with it. So it's a great strip, even if it's too small for your fingers, and you're like, what am I gonna do with this? Just save it for your toes. It might fit your baby toenails just perfectly. It's really pretty. I am going to go through and do all of my nails. Normally I don't, just because I feel like people get bored watching it. But if you're interested, go ahead and watch the whole thing. If not, fast forward. I'll give you information on the times to fast forward to. Okay, so this nail, for whatever reason, my pointer finger, is more rounded, so it likes to make like ripples and dimples and stuff. So my tip for that is I usually start, like I'll kind of apply it firmly here and then roll it this way to make the bond, and then push on either side like that. and across the top. I've noticed just from doing so many different girls' nails that everybody's nails are shaped differently, and in some cases, like me, all my nails are shaped one way and then my pointer finger is different. So different strategies work better on different nail types. So see, I got it kind of firmly fit there, and then I'm gonna roll across like that and then push at the corners and over the top. Make sure I get a really good bond. Using my nail to perforate it, and then this is a toenail size. Let me see. Yeah, okay. I'm going to show you something magical. So this also depends on your toenail size, but my birdie toe nail is not that big, and my pinky toenail is super small. So this is the extra that I have from that nail strip, and it is going to fit on my toenail perfectly. I have excess to take off, which is fine. But so from that one nail strip, I was able to get 2 nails and 2 toenails. Gotta say, it feels pretty good. This is also a really, really good strategy if you use our French manicure sets. If you haven't tried them, totally recommend them. They're great. But the white tip, you obviously just use the tip of it. And then everything that you have left over from that white tip, you can put on your toenails, and then you just have this gorgeous like white manicure for basically free, because you wouldn't be able to reuse those strips. So that is another tip. Doesn't really matter the shape of the nail as long as the nail strip, as long as it covers your entire nail, because you can take all of the excess off. So if you see on this one, there's too much on this side and too much on that side. If you are really a pro and you know that a nail strip's gonna be too big, you can try to get it to where it fits perfectly on one side, and then all the excess goes off on the other side, and that way you only have to adjust one side. But that's not always the case, as you can see. Okay. So the tips of all of these nails aren't exactly perfect. Like, I have a little bit extra on some of them, just depending on the strategy I use to take it off. I'm fine with that. Leave it on if you can stand it. It used to irritate me so much, like just the way it feels is wrong. It feels wrong. But if you can just give it like 45 minutes to an hour even, or overnight, it really makes a difference in how easy it is to file off. So these are 100% real nail polish. If you don't seal them back up when you're done with them, oh girl, this is the wrong size. Okay, this is a great tip. I just took this strip off and it's the wrong size because I just needed my thumbs. There's like a flat side and like a waxy side, and you can put the strips back on to the waxy side like that, and you save them for later. If you put them on the other side, they'll stick just like a sticker. This is my big toe size, and this is my thumb size. So surprisingly, my big toes and my thumbs are not that off. If you have, let's say, this is too thin for your thumb, instead of putting it this way, you can always turn it this way and make it extra wide. It's a good strategy if you just have really thick nails, or wide nails, I mean. I do kind of like pull it a little bit tight on the corners. You don't want to pull it so much that it rips, but sometimes you can pull it just tight enough that it's like if when you're making your bed and your sheets are kind of wrinkly and you just kind of tighten them up. That's what I'm doing. Take the silver tab off. There we go. So this strip I know is going to be way too big, but it's the perfect size on this side. So now I just have to adjust this other side. So I'm trying to save these parts, these in the middle pieces, for my toenails, but on my thumb, I always, on my last thumb, will just fold it over like that. So you can use your nail file to file this edge, or you can use your handy dandy orange stick and make a perforation like you would with your thumbnail. The reason I don't want to use my other nail to do this is because I just put a nail on it, and they're still a little bit kind of pliable at first, and so you don't want to damage the nail that you just put on. There we go. So I do have a little extra on the edge of this. Do not fret. Can you see that the edge on is kind of ugly? And it's okay. Just fold it over and be patient. Usually, sometimes, like, I have all my kind of nail prep material supply stuff out, and so by the time I'm done with my whole manicure, I'll just, even though my professional recommendation is to wait a little bit longer, so I'm taking that extra off. You can file it up. Even just waiting a little bit makes a difference. Sometimes I like to file it before I put everything up so I don't have to get it all out again. So it's just up to you and your schedule. You want to make sure your nails are really clean and that it makes a good bond on the edges, because that really does make a difference. Okay, so I have 4 toenails done. I could have done more, but I was showing you different strategies. My kid flustered me. But I'm going to show you the best that I can how to do a big toe. Let me see. I did hit my big toe the other day and like busted my nail pretty bad. You can't see it. All right, here it is. So you can have it on just like a regular nail. So anyways, I busted this nail pretty good, and it's like shaped a little bit wonky right now at the tip, so that's great. Since I just did my fingernails, it's like a yoga exercise. You can use scissors, or these are just my cuticle clippers, and I'm just cutting it enough that I can tear off the excess. So there is extra on the edge right here. I'm gonna fold that down and come back and file it. The hardest part about toes for me is that they're just like hard to reach. This one's gonna be too short to do my other big toe, so I'll have to use the other big toe strip. But I can use so much of this for little toes. So let me show you how. I'm going to cut this one in half. And then apply these to my tiny toes on this foot. That's too small. That one little pieces won't work for another nail, but maybe I can get 2 nails out of this one. You just kind of have to be the short-winded version of what to do. You have to be creative with your leftovers, because you can, depending on your toe shape, find a toe that it fits. Perfect. So I actually got 2 toenails out of that one. There we go. All right, I'm gonna do the same on this one. I always feel rushed when I do these videos, like, because I know I wouldn't want to be watching somebody fiddling with their toes for a long time. I'm trying to be quick. If you find that the nail strip is just like still just a tiny bit too small, you can try stretching them out a little bit. Some of them are a little bit more stretchy than others. I find that solids tend to be a little bit stickier. a little bit stretchier. I took the tip off and I'm going to use this other end because it's a little bit bigger. It is. Go talk to your daddy about that.
Okay, I can do this too.
Not right this second.
I want to do fingernails.
Okay. So I did the same thing on this one. There we go. Really big. I'm going to use my...
I want to put nails on my fingers. I want to put this on my foot.
Okay. Maybe we can do that later.
Mommy.
So I'm folding down the extra over and then I'm just going to file it later. This much left over.
I want fingernails. I want fingernails.
You want fingernails?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you say that.
I want some these fingernails. I want some these.
Remember this slippery side, you can put the nail strip back on. Voila. And I have one more. Please don't take that off, Sarah.
But I want some.
I understand that you want some, but those aren't for you.
But I want some these. I want some, Mommy.
I understand.
I got to make this.
Welcome to real life.
I got to make.
All right, so I have my fingernails done. My toenails done.
Go this at me.
I am not going to wash my hands, take a bath, take a bubble bath, do dishes for like the next hour. My favorite time to do this is definitely at night because then I can let them cure overnight. I am going to take all of my extras. Let me show you. This, are you okay? This was an extra. This was an extra until she took it off. But I have one full set minus the big toe and then this left over. So I still have enough to do a whole nother manicure with extras left over. Don't put any cuticle oil or lotion or anything on your nails. Give them a couple minutes and then you can file them off with this or any nail file.